Hey everyone, how's it going? This is Ryan Sanders with the NewGen Podcast. In this video, I want to talk about our culture's obsession with death. And this could be a multi-part series, but for now, I'll just start with my own experience and what I've been thinking on the past couple weeks, really. And it all kind of started with the passing of Lil Peep. And if you don't know who Lil Peep is, he was a hip-hop artist, maybe labeled alternative hip-hop, emo hip-hop, whatever you want to call it. And he passed away November 16th. I saw on my Instagram that he passed away at like 1 a.m. I was in California, and it was sad because he overdosed on drugs and no one knew if it was on purpose or on accident. And I knew one song by him, but I didn't know much else. So I started listening to his music after. And a lot of it was, first, I'd like to say it was good. I liked the music a lot. I like that type of music. And I especially liked it back then. That being months ago, back in November of 2017. And he was talented. I wanted to hear more from him. I didn't hear his music until after he passed. And the reason people didn't know if he wanted to, if he died purposefully or not, is he had songs that say, "I don't want to die alone right now, but I admit I do sometimes." You know, stuff like that. And he talks about his anxiety and depression in a lot of interviews. So clearly he was a troubled guy. And again, he was only 21 when he passed. He had one Instagram post 2 days before he passed on November 14th. It says, quote, "I just want to be everybody's everything. I want too much from people, but then I don't want anything from them at the same time. You feel me? I don't let people help me, but I need help. But not when I have my pills. But that's temporary. One day maybe I won't die young and I'll be happy. What is happy? I always have happiness for like 10 seconds and then it's gone. I'm getting so tired of this." End quote. And then on November 15th, he puts a picture with the caption, quote, "When I die, you'll love me." End quote. So that was sad because he did just pass and he had so much to say and he was talented and he was getting bigger and bigger. So Lil Peep passed. I posted rest in peace. That's the only thing I really can do because I didn't know him personally. But rest in peace, Lil Peep, and condolences to his family. And after that, I started listening to his music a lot. Music like that kind of nihilist, nothing matters, life is nothing, I want to die, and stuff like that. And I didn't really think anything of it. I was in a weird part of my life where I didn't really know what to do next. So it kind of fit with me. I resonated with some of the music, but not all of it. And I don't condone everything he said, but I enjoyed the music. Now moving on to June 18th of this year, 2018, xxxtentacion dies. And if you don't know who that is, it's another rapper who would be, I guess, rock or alternative hip-hop. And he had a lot of negative stuff around his name. But he was murdered. He didn't die of an overdose. And Lil Peep did end up overdosing on Xanax that was laced with fentanyl, which ties back to the opioid crisis we're all talking about and everything. And it's sad. And again, he was young. And so it made me think of the younger generation. That was a month that I was, like I said, I was kind of not sure what to do next, but I was flying home to Ohio to visit for my younger brother's birthday, and my younger brother was turning 21. So Peep's death hit me weird because I know that age demographic, and it was sad. Now X, he died at 20, and he also talked about his violent past, his depression, his anxiety, and all that stuff. And he talks about suicide in his songs sometimes, but he talked about it a lot in interviews, about how he was going to die tragically, and if he did, that would be okay. And if he got shot, that's the best thing that anyone could do for him because then he'd be freed from his mind. Stuff like that. And it was sad. When he died, I mean, millions of people came out. He was already a superstar. And it was, he was just murdered and robbed. It wasn't, allegedly that's all it is right now that we know. And what was weirder was seeing all the people come up around the car and recording his dead body. And so when I got on Instagram and I saw this, I watched a video unknowingly of his lifeless dead body, and it was so surreal because this isn't fake. And so, but everyone's saying it's fake. It was a conspiracy that he wasn't actually dead. And just to be that detached from everything, as most of our culture is, was really sad, and it was hard. And his Instagram followers went up to 14.2 million after he died. I don't know how many he had before that. I think it was about 4. So we had millions of people who cared about his life and his death and were listening. And he was maturing. He went from violent songs like Look at Me, I Don't Want to Do This Anymore, which I like both of those songs. I don't condone all the messaging. I don't condone everything he did, but I like the music. And his most recent album has songs like Changes and Hope. Like, he was getting more positive, and that's kind of what he talked about when he was in the last final months of his life. He was talking about turning negative energy into positive energy. You know, whatever you think of that message, he was 20 years old, and he was maturing. And so he dies, and I did know a lot of X's music at that time. I was listening to it. I listened to it a lot after Peep died, and that was the type of music. Suicide, death, life doesn't matter. It's just lyrics in a song. So I didn't really realize how much of an effect both of these young gentlemen's deaths had on me until recently, maybe a few weeks ago, after all the outpouring of X dying, because this wasn't an overdose, this wasn't expected. And I wanted to hear more music from him, and so did so many other fans. And so after he died, people were coming out with condolences. It was really sad. And he knew a lot of other artists and a lot of people, like a lot. And so to see everyone so sad. And then as a fan, I was sad. And just as a person who knew that he was a guy, he was a human, was sad. And to see Peep and X both dead, it was just depressing as a fan of the music. And as another human being, to see these two young gentlemen whose lives were ended at such a young age when they could have had huge changes in their lives. They could have, I don't know. We'll never know now. But I listened to a song called Lies by Lil Xan, which came out recently. And the song says, quote, "Pray to God like Allah, please slit my throat. And when you lie, I want to die, please slit my throat. They're going to cry when you die because that's just how it goes." End quote. And I started, nodding my head to the song when I heard it because it sounded good. I thought he was saying save my soul. He says slit my throat. And that's kind of when I realized, oh man, I hear it differently. Now I'm worried about Lil Xan as another human being. And I don't want to sing about slitting my own throat. I don't want to do that anymore. I changed the way I was kind of looking at life. I didn't want to rap about it. It felt weird. And I still like X's music. I still like Peep's music. And I just don't want to sing about death anymore. I don't want to put that on my life anymore. I want to live. And so I just hearing that was alarming to me. And I know he put out a lot of Instagram videos saying that his mental state isn't great right now. And as a human being worried about another human being, that alerts me, that alarms me. Coupled with that, maybe the same week, I see a video of Lil Uzi Vert, another rapper who I liked, and kind of distanced as he's doing this demonic imagery because he likes Marilyn Manson. Just music separately, I liked his music. Again, not condoning all the messages, but I enjoyed the music. And he comes out and he tells his audience at a concert that they're all in hell and they're going to hell with him. And he says, quote, "Oh, you already here. I'm so sorry. You can't get out. You're stuck. It's over. You heard the song 1,000,000 times and you didn't even know. That's effed up, but I still love you anyway." End quote. And so for me, I take that seriously. I don't want to go to hell. I don't want anyone to go to hell. I don't want Uzi to go to hell. I don't want Uzi to die. I don't want to die. I don't want Xan to die. I'm tired of hearing about death. I don't want to hear about it anymore. And I know, turn it off. So I did. I turned it off. I haven't listened to Uzi since, just because I feel weird about it now. Now I'm worried about Lil Uzi as a human being. And if I'm doing this, I know there's more people who are thinking this way. This isn't unique to me. The depressing, the death, the nihilism, the going to hell, the upside down crosses, the life doesn't matter. I don't want to hear it anymore. But I'm also 24, and I know that a lot of the lyrics from most of the other rappers, it's just fake. They're not doing as many drugs as they say they are. They're not selling as many drugs as they say they are. They might not be doing drugs or selling drugs at all. And same with the rest of the messaging. You don't know what's true and what's not. It's theatrical, and it works. And okay, great. I'm not here to say we need to stop their music, because free speech is free speech. Music is music. Make whatever music you want, whether it's happy, depressing, whatever, but I think there needs to be a counter message that's just as loud and just as strong. Because what I realized is that these millions of people that are listening to X are listening to and digesting the same ideology that he's going through, about how everything is positive and negative, and you need to be positive and negative and kill this part of yourself and this and that. And maybe that's a good first step, but personally, I don't believe there's any substance in that ideology. But millions of people are listening to X, and millions of people are listening to Peep. And so I think it would be a safe bet to say a lot of those kids and adults that were listening to the music felt a certain way about their lives as well. And they resonated with the music about death, wanting to die, suicide, slit my wrist, slit my throat, whatever. If you don't like the music, turn it off. I understand. I'm the same way. I agree. Turn it off. But the point of my podcast, this NewGen Podcast that I'm starting now, is to bring hope and to bring that counter message. The mission statement for this podcast is to encourage, to inspire, and bring hope to millennials and future generations who are receiving a broken world and are expected to fix it. And I want to make that abundantly clear. There is freedom from depression. It may be hard and it might take a long time, but it's worth it. You are worth it. And that's important. I think we need a little bit more of that now. Because this stuff isn't going to turn around on its own. It's going to take more voices. It's going to take more people sharing these ideas and opinions that life is worth living. Music is music, right? Free speech is free speech. So I don't want to silence these guys. I don't want to silence these songs. And really, if you're younger than 18, you're not supposed to be listening to the lyrics. Parents aren't supposed to be letting their kids listen to it. I'm not ignorant of the fact that kids get around their parents all the time. So what also needs to be presented is hope. And this message that your life has meaning and you exist for a reason. Every single one of you, and myself. And that's important because you have to believe that you have a purpose to wake up every day and go do something that matters, because you matter. And that's huge. And life is short. I mean, you can wake up. I don't know. Just the past year has gone by so quickly. Everyone always tells you life flies by, and it does, and it has for me. And I'm only 24. And these kids were only 20 when they died. Lil Xan is 21. Lil Uzi Vert is 23. And as much as I want to come out and start bashing these guys naturally, because that's kind of what we do, I have to remember that Ephesians 6:12 says, For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the cosmic powers over this present darkness, against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly places. My anger isn't towards these artists. It's towards the message that they're spreading. And I don't think we need to silence them. I think that we need to be just as loud. And it's hard to not do that in a corny way. But whatever works. I just don't care anymore. I'm tired of hearing about it. I'm tired of hearing about death and slit my throat. And it's all over the news. It's in politics. I'm tired of it. And I cover politics, and I'm going to cover it more. But man, come on. There's got to be one. I mean, it wasn't like this 5 years ago or 8 years ago. 8 years ago, music was a party. Your car was a party. Your high school dances were parties. Your commutes were parties. Everything was a party. Music was fun. Everyone was happy with music. Maybe not in life. Now the music is so this, and I'm tired of the nihilism. Because it's funny for a little bit, but you don't get anywhere with it. That's all I really wanted to say in this video. Thanks for listening. I really appreciate it. I'd love to hear what you think about X and Peep and music and anything else that I just talked about. If you like this video, please go ahead and leave a like. And if you really liked it, go ahead and subscribe. I'm going to try and put more content out consistently like this. And I hope you guys enjoy it. So thank you very much. Goodbye.